I look at the horizon and imagine walking by your side, hand in hand, talking about life, about your dreams.
Burada asrın felaketinden sonra biliyorsunuz çok yıkıldık, çok dağıldık, paramparça olduk. Duygularımız, hayallerimiz, her şeyimizi kaybettik.
6 Şubat'ta yaşadığımız deprem Antakya'yı çok etkiledi. Tabii bu konuda çok üzgünüz. Ben de birebir yaşadım.
Hepimiz çok ağır yaralar yaşadık. Çocuklar da bunu hissetti. Kaldı ki çocuklarda nasıl bir etki olmuştur tahmin bile edemiyorum.
Bundan çok değil işte 1,5-2 sene öncesinde gece güvenle yatağına yatıp hiçbir travması ve kaygısı olmayan çocuklar sabah uyandığı zaman sıcacık yataklarını, sevdiklerini kaybetmiş, büyük bir faciaya uyanmış olarak gözlerini açtılar. Şu an Hatay'da yaşayan ya da deprem bölgesinde özellikle depremi ağır atlatan çocukların çok ciddi anlamda ruhlarının yaralandığını hepimizin fark etmesi gerekiyor.
Normal düz hayattan sıkılmış duruma girdiler. Hani çünkü konteyner kentte yaşamlar çok. Konteyner, okul konteyner ve sosyal alanları yok. Eğlenebilecekleri ortamlar yok.
Açıkçası çocuklara dokunmak ve o şeyi yaşayan insanın insana dokunması çok daha bence etkili gibi geliyor bana.
Matematik öğretmeniyim. Aynı zamanda akıl zeka oyunları eğitmeniyim. Bu projede eğlenceli matematik oyunlarına da giriyorum. Çocukların matematiği oyunlarla da öğrenebileceğini öğretiyoruz. Buraya gelirken bu projeyi öğrendim ve gelir gelmez başlamak istediğimi söyledim. Çünkü uzakta kaldığımda ben de aynı şekilde çocuklara dokunmak isteyenlerdendim. Çocukların o ruh haliyle, bu ambiyansla bir şeyler öğrenmek için buraya geldiğinde onlarla paylaşmak, burada onlarla bu ortamı paylaşmak çok kıymetliydi benim için.
Biz yeniden toparlanmak adına, yeniden ayağa kalkmak adına, konteyner kentlerde olan kadın ve çocuklarımıza aslında psiko destek adı altında kurslar açıyoruz.
Çünkü sanat gerçekten insanı az da olsa kötü, negatif enerjiden uzaklaştırıyor ve bu çocuklar üzerinde de çok etkili bir şey. Çocukların yaşamış olduğu psikolojik ve depresif olayların sanatla dışa aktarımını sağlıyoruz biz aslında. Oradaki tüm kötü enerjilerini resim çizerek, karalayarak dışarıya aktarıyorlar ve bir müddet sonra odaklandıklarını fark ederek aslında kötü düşüncelerden sıyrıldıklarını görüyorlar. Bu çocuk açısından hatta insanoğlu açısından çok önemli bir şeydir.
Belki siz de etraftan görüyorsunuzdur. Şu an hiç de hijyenik olmayan bir ortamda yaşıyoruz. Yani konteyner kentlerde insanlar 21 metrekarelik bir alanda yaşıyorlar. Kalabalık aileler özellikle maalesef 3-4 kişilik, 5 kişilik, 6 kişilik aileler küçücük bir konteynerin küçücük bir lavabo ve tuvaletinde temel temizliğini yapmak zorunda kalıyorlar. Çocuklarda şunu fark ettik. Ciddi anlamda bir temizlik eksikliği söz konusu. Yani çocuklar hijyene şu anda hiç dikkat etmiyorlar. Siz de takdir edersiniz ki zaten ciddi bir hijyenik olmayan ortamda yaşıyoruz. Sağlık sisteminin de çöktüğü bir alan burası esasında. Ciddi bir problemler var. Bunun üzerine de yeni bir bulaşıcı problemin yaşanmasını, hastalığın yaşanmasını istemiyoruz. Bu yüzden bir farkındalık yaratmak istedik.
Bu projeye katıldığım zaman çok gurur duydum öncelikle. Çünkü var olduğum ortam, katkı sağladığım yönler ve bu projede çocukların gelişimine yönelik bazı projeler yani bazı dersler belirlendi. Bu süreçte de çocuklarımız için hem onları eğlendirmek aslında bir yandan katkımız hem de onların sosyal açıdan birazcık daha alternatif üretmek hem
Burada en azından çocuklar kafalarını dağıtarak hem eğitimi hem de eğlenceyi yaşıyorlar ve bir arada oldukları için zaten biliyorsunuz okul ortamı bir tık uzaklaştırıyor o düşünceden onları. Gelişimsel açıdan ve psikolojik açıdan çok destek olduğunu düşünüyorum. İngilizce zaten biliyorsunuz ki evrensel bir dil ve insanların ve çocukların bilişsel ve hafızalarını bayağı bir geliştiriyor. Bu anlamda İngilizce aslında hayatımızda entegre olmuş durumda. O yüzden bence herkesin İngilizce öğrenmesi ve burada çocuklara en azından oyunlarla, farklı şeylerle hem yaşadıkları travmayı unutturarak hem de öğretmeyi amaçlayarak, edinmeyi amaçlayarak öğretiyoruz burada İngilizceyi.
Taşlarla oynamayı çok seviyorlar. Eksik parçalarımızı aslında bir yerde toplayıp, bir tabloda toplayıp bir bütün oluyoruz. Hepimiz aslında renkli bir mozaik parçasıyız ve burada bu tabloda buluşuyoruz. Bu tabloda sesimizi çıkarıyoruz. Buralarda iyileşiyoruz.
Yani kendi hayal gücünüzü kullanarak, istediğiniz renkten başlayarak istediğiniz çiçeği yapabilirsiniz. Taşları keserken parmaklarınıza dikkat ediyoruz.
Burada çocuklar gerçekten iyi veya kötü her şeyi aslında aktarabiliyorlar sanatla. Bu yönde biz sanatın gelişimi açısından çok önemli bir faktör olduğunu düşünüyoruz çocuk gelişiminde. Gerçekten hayatın stresi, yoğun temposu içerisinde insanın kendine biraz vakit ayırması ve kötü enerjiden uzaklaşıp başka bir şeye odaklanarak kendi hayatını düzene sokması açısından çok güzel bir araçtır aslında. Motive etmeye çalışıyorum. Kendi öğrencilerimi de motive etmeye çalışıyorum ve derslerimizde de bu motivasyonu çocuklardan alıyorum. Teknoloji tasarım dersinde geçen hafta işlediğimiz gibi teknolojik bir ürünün daha işlevsel hale gelebilmesi için daha üst modellerini yapıyor değil mi? Mesela örnek veriyorum, cep telefonları önce tuşluydu, dokunmatik değildi. Gitgide ne olmaya başladı? Dokunmatik hale geldi, içerisinde bilgisayar gibi yaptığımız işlemleri bilgisayarda, burada da ne yapabiliyoruz? Telefon üzerinden yapabiliyoruz.
Bir tane anım var ilk dersimden. Satranç öğretecektim ancak yeteri kadar satrancımız yoktu o sırada. Öğrencimiz sağ olsun çok fazla talepte bulunmuşlardı. Yeterli sayıda satranç olmayınca çocuklara bir soru yönelttim. Maalesef sonra bazı zorluklar yaşadık. Yaşadığımız zorlukların neticesinde bazı şeyler öğrendik. Bazı kazanımlar kazandık. Benim elimde şu anda dedim 6 tane satranç takımı var. Ancak şu anda 20 kişiyiz dedim. Ne yapabiliriz dedim. Hocam paylaşabiliriz dediler. Neler öğrendik? Paylaşmayı, yetmeyi, azla yetinmeyi öğrendik hocam dedi. Birlikte bir zaman geçirmeyi öğrendik. Hemen dörtlü gruplar oldular. Sağ olsunlar hiç yormadılar bizi ve hani o satranç oyunumuzu oynadık, öğrendik ve keyifli vakitler geçirdik. Buna adım atmak, böyle bir fikri hayata geçirmek inanın çok kıymetli. Hem çocuklar bulundukları ortamdan sıyrılıp bir şeyler öğrenebiliyorlar, hem keyifli vakit geçiriyorlar, hem oynarken farkında olmadan bir sürü kazanım elde ediyorlar. Hiç hayatlarında görmedikleri bazı oyunlar öğreniyorlar. Örneğin mangal oyununu öğrendik bugün, çok sevdiler. Bunlar benim için çok kıymetli. Hani yıllardır bu mesleği icra ediyorum ama bu şekilde çocuklara dokunmak benim için çok başka bir deneyimdi. İyi ki katılmışım.
Hayvanlara dokunduktan sonra mutlaka ellerimizi su ve sabunla yıkamalıyız. Ellerimizi nasıl yıkamalıyız?
Olay sadece işte bir şeyler öğretmek olayı değil. Olay biraz da onları tekrar o ruhlarında açılan yaraları, o travmalarını biraz sarmalamak. Bu projenin kıymetli kısmı o kısım. Yani sadece işte çocuğa gelip bir şeyler anlatmak değil. Çünkü bu çocuklar buraya gelince rahatlıyorlar. Çocuklar buraya gelince biraz sosyal bir çevreyle, güvenli bir ortamda olduklarını hissediyorlar. Eve gittikleri zaman mutlu gidiyorlar. Biz velilerden bunun dönütlerini çok ciddi bir şekilde alıyoruz zaten. Sohbete katılmayan, içine kapanık çocuğum sizin sayenizde tekrar işte gülebiliyor gibi bize dönütler de geliyor. Bu bizim için çok kıymetli.
Arkadaşlarıyla birlikte sohbet edebiliyorlar. Karşılıklı iletişim kurabiliyorlar. Kendilerini ifade etme söz konusu. Çünkü önceden böyle bir durum yoktu. Daha çok çekinir ve kaçarlardı. Fakat şimdi bir durum olduğu zaman ya da sevgilerini belli etmek istediği zaman bunu rahatça ifade edebiliyorlar. Aslında bizim de tam olarak istediğimiz bu. Çocukların hem özgüveninin oluşturulması hem de eğitim açısından güzel bir ilerleme sağlaması. Arkadaşlığı, kardeşliği, birliği burada biz bu projeyle aslında yansıttık onlara.
Böyle projelerin sürmelerini istiyoruz, sürmesini istiyoruz, devam etmesini istiyoruz. Çünkü gerçekten sanatla devam edip sanatla iyileşeceğiz. Ki buna herkes de inanıyor. İyileşmeye çok ihtiyacımız olduğunun farkına vardık. Özellikle çocukların. İnşallah beraber hep birlikte el birliğiyle Hatay'ımızı ayağa kaldıracağımıza inanıyoruz. Beraber hareket edersek her şey olur. Birlikten kuvvet doğacağına inanıyorum.
This is, of course, one of several crises playing out that we have been covering. With so many pieces, I wonder, is there unity, is there a global vision to tackle these crises and take on this moment?
You know, if you situarise it in a humanitarian, from a humanitarian perspective, you see this very clearly. Look at Ukraine, the Caucasus, then you have the Middle East.
شايفين غير عتمة وبدهم يانا ناكل بعض بس مش ماكلين ومعنا يحكي لا ولو لمرة بنحكي بنموت. أنا تعبت مش عارفة أتلقى من وين ولا من وين المصايب. راسي صار يوجعني حاسة بينفجر. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
Brother, we will never get out without you. There's no time for solitude. Now is the time for unity, knowing we can achieve greatness and overcome any challenge.
أنا أهلي كلهم ماتوا بالتفجيرات. كنت عم بسمع صوتهم تحت الأنقاض بس ما قدرت أوصل لهم. الناس كلياتها سكتت وأهلي انتهوا. ما كان في لقمة خبز ولا شربة مي. هربت وهلأ عندي بنت صغيرة ما بدي إياها تشوف اللي أنا شفته. بترجاك تيجي معنا.
كيفاش نسكت ونحن كل يوم عم نموت؟ ما عادش خوف. الإنسان ما عادش يستحمل. نزلنا نحافظوا على رواحنا. زعما ما زلت ننزل نحلم. زعما ما زال عنا نفس طويل. زعما ما يخونيش الموت. ونشوف بلادنا كيما حلمنا ولباس عليها كيما نحبها.
Ne sois pas l'esclave de la peur. Libère-toi, mec. Sois courageux. Viens. Viens. Viens, frérot.
أصبحنا شعوباً على حافة الانهيار ورسالتنا يجب أن يعلمها الجميع.
La guerra e la morte non si augura mai. La morte anni solo è la morte per noi.
نحن شعوباً لا تقهر.
Perché questa vita è sacrosanta per noi, anche per te. Tutti siamo dispiaciuti per ogni civile morto.
نستطيع أن نعيش مع بعض وأن نحلم مع بعض.
Ma i popoli devono vivere. Vive i popoli della terra. Vive i popoli della terra.
Now is the time for unity. Via. Via, via. Man.
Dek, kita pulang aja ya.
Jangan, Kak. Aku masih mau temenin kakak jualan.
Iya, besok-besok aja. Sekarang kita pulang ya.
Enggak.
Dek.
Han.
Yan.
Buat lo nih.
Yan, gak usah repot-repot.
Ya elah, gini doang deh. Ambil. Bisa makan, ya.
Makasih ya, Yan.
Ya, sama-sama. Adik lo kenapa?
Biasa. Kambuh lagi. Dek, kita sekarang minum obat dulu ya. Minum.
Dek, kakak lanjut kerja dulu ya. Kamu istirahat di sini. Ya.
Mau aja lu. Sampai dong.
Tumben lo sampai.
Ini kagak ada duit gue.
Berapa?
3 batang aja.
Nih.
Thank you. 3.000 kan?
Ini 2023. Masa 3 batang 3.000?
Nih goceng.
Makasih.
Sama-sama. Si Indah gimana?
Ya, itulah.
Kagak dibawa ke klinik atau apa gitu?
Ya gimana?
Sebentar. Ya bang. Kenapa?
Kak, rokok kak. Kak, rokok.
Enggak, sorry.
Oke, thank you.
Makasih.
Bang, jangan sekarang bang, lagi nggak punya duit bang.
Kosong.
Bang serius bang, aduh, bang, jangan bang, iya, jangan sekarang bang.
Segini mana cukup bayar utang lu?
Ya udah jangan diambil makanya bang. Bang itu masih dikit banget bang, jangan diambil bang. Bang, jangan bang.
Ya udah buruan.
Kita nggak masuk.
Kenapa lu? Bapak apa ngasih nyala sama gua? Lu salah ya. Hari gini masih balik. Udah.
Kalau lo jujur, lo aman.
Bang, gue udah jujur beneran buat adik gue bang, sumpah.
Iya, bener. Buat adek ya. Wangi banget. Cantik juga. Lo butuh duit kan? Ya kan? Kalau sama gua gampang.
tenangin. Mereka bertiga nggak mati.
Bisa minum dulu.
Makasih ya, Dek. Peluk.
It takes a village to raise a child. Do you believe it? Maybe. Street getting cold, chaotic at night, and come during the day. That's crazy. Where I come from, headlines are not made by top achievers, but only those who cause trouble. That's when the streets really cares. And the mind of a man will always give.
Anak tu aiki. Ibele la tshile le mo. Ye. Limba ko o tsele mo. Ke tsele mo ga motho ha re.
Que tú no tienes.
By no other person. She is a broadcaster, a journalist, and also the founder of In a Man's World show. Please welcome the moderator of the first panel session of the grand finale of SDGs Short Film Challenge and Award 2025, Miss Cynthia Agbo. Please put your hands together as she walks up stage. Please put your hands together for her, please. Thank you very much. This is the youth section. Please put your hands together for the first moderator, Miss Cynthia Agbo. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is that we're very cold. It's almost like we're not excited to be here. Look at someone and smile. Just look at somebody and smile. Not me, smile at somebody beside you. Look at somebody and smile. And say, welcome to the SDGs Short Film Challenge, the grand finale. Say it, say it. I want to hear the room loud. Welcome to the SDGs Short Film Challenge 2025 grand finale. All right. It's so great to have you here this beautiful afternoon. And of course, my name is Cynthia Agbo, as I've been introduced. This session is meant to be for 30 minutes, and we'll try as much as possible to dissect everything that we have in store. We'll really, really try our best. And the conversation is going to be on youth film and the SDGs, creativity as a force in the decade of action. And some of the points we're going to be noting and talking from is the part that youth-led storytelling as a tool for behavioral and attitudinal change. We're also going to be looking at digital platforms, mobile filmmaking, and of course storytelling. We're also going to be looking at talent development, mentorship, and of course breaking global barriers for African youth, and creative solutions by youth to accelerate the SDGs implementation. Now, I'm going to be calling those who are going to be joining here for this particular session. And so please and please, we're going to do lots of clapping. So when I call anybody, please, with happiness and smile, do ensure to put your hands together. Do we have a deal? All right, the first person on my list right here is Right Honorable Esther Akpove. She is the Deputy Speaker, FCT Abuja Youth Parliament. Please put your hands together as she comes forward. Right Honorable Esther Akpove. Please keep clapping as she comes. Next, I have Dr. Sarah Amana. She is the founder, Rich Anti-Finance and RAF App. Please put your hands together. And I have Ifeanyi Ofodu Raymond. He is the founder, the Raymond Ofodu Foundation and reform leader, PBEG. Please put your hands together. I also have Faith Agada, the Executive Director, Tyrone Tilly's Empowerment Foundation, and founder, Fedora Champions International. Please put your hands together. And I have Ambassador Dr. Eze Ihechukwumere Ezekiel. He is the Country Director, United Nations Youth Delegate Program, Nigeria. Please put your hands together. And we're meant to have one other person, in the person of Michael Meduye, but he is ably represented here by Rosemary Akpoga Emmanuel. She's representing the Nigeria Youth SDGs Network. Please put your hands together as she comes forward. Rosemary Akpoga. Please keep clapping as she comes. Thank you very much. And so, like I said earlier, this conversation is going to be on youth, film, and the SDG, creativity as a force in a decade of action. It's so great to have all of us here, and I'm definitely sure we're going to have an interesting time having this conversation. So first, I'd like to start with the Right Honorable beside me. I'd like to start with you. When you talk about youth film and the SDGs, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? How do we marry both together?
Hello? Okay, great. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for that question. So I think the first thing that comes to my mind when you think of youth, SDGs and film, it's, big streaming platforms like Netflix. Over the past decade, we've had such an increase of our Nollywood really going to global channels. And you've had success stories, for example, the likes of, Far From Home, Gangs of Lagos, and some other films that have really taken the turn globally. So I'll give an example using Gangs of Lagos, because I actually attended the premiere as well. For example, with Gangs of Lagos, you can actually just see how it really tells the story of we have a massive wealth gap in Africa. It really tells the story of what young people face from other parts of Lagos, and also things that put them at risk, the issues that are not usually in public light but are literally going on behind the scenes. Going back to the Sustainable Development Goals, I feel like it spreads awareness, because now we're in this area of variety, visibility. Having platforms like that, it really educates us about what the truth of what's actually really going on, and which enables us to actually come up with solutions and finding partners, finding organizations that exist for such issues to come together to actually partner on those problems. Thank you.
All right. Please put your hands together. Let's make them feel very appreciated. Now, I'm going to move over to Dr. Sarah Amana, founder of Rich Anti-Finance. Absolutely. And we're talking about youth film and the SDGs. Do you think that what we have presently when it comes to filmmaking, do you think that we're really doing enough in telling impactful stories that can stand the test of time and drive positive change? Now, she did mention some projects, but if you look at what we have out there, compared to the change that we want, do you think that our films are telling the kind of stories that we really want?
Thank you very much. I think and I know that our stories and our films are telling the stories that are needed or are supposed to be heard, right? So like she said, I know we're not doing that much, but trust me, we've come a long way from the days of black and white till now. We've even evolved from just the normal everyday TV shows to YouTube, Netflix. YouTube is like one of the biggest wealth creation tool for Nigerian youths today. YouTube, TikTok, Netflix for producers and all that. So yes, we are actually doing very, very well. We are trying. We have a long way to go, but we have come a mighty long way. And everybody who is out there telling their stories, they deserve a round of applause, especially for the organizers of this event. They're actually doing well. This is us pushing ourselves. This wouldn't have happened some few years ago, but see us here today. So we're making good strides. So yes, we're doing well.
Okay, I'm going to move over to Mr. Ifeanyi Ofodo Raymond, founder of Photo Foundation. I'm going to ask you a very direct question, which how often do you take out time to, when it comes to see movies, how often do you do that? That will prompt my next question.
Regularly, and most especially now we have Netflix. It's made easy. You can pop up to YouTube and do anything you want. I think almost every day, maybe after work, I just relax with one movie or the other. Yes.
Okay, so having known that you see, so when we're talking about being a driving force, now the films you see, do they have what it takes to be a driving force for change? I'm asking this because you hear most people talk about our films don't have lessons. Our films don't tell the kind of story it's supposed to tell. And it's almost like, what is happening? So the films you go out for, do they tell the kind of stories that we want to tell? And this is not just about witchcraft.
Yes, I think that's a very brilliant question. And this is a timely time to have such conversations, because if we don't tell the right stories to the younger generation, you will keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. And this is directed at Nollywood as well. Sometimes, people are very angry watching Nollywood movies, epic African magic, because they'll be like, what are you even learning? Is it how to take somebody's husband, or how to do something to your house help? But these are the sad stories that we need to change. These are the narratives that we need to rewrite. We need to start telling stories of resilience. We need to start telling stories of progress. I know that they are doing it for entertainment, but at the same time, you need to imbibe culture and education in the entertainment. And something that is very noteworthy of is the new current movies that are produced in the cinemas. I think they are really trying to pass positive messages. Like, for example, the movies produced by Funke Akindele's movies, sometimes when you look at it, you will know that she's trying to pass a specific line of story. And I appreciate even the latest one done by Omotala, the one that talked about gender-based violence, even the one that is the corruption within the UN and the refugee setting. There was a movie around that. These are brilliant movies. So I think such movies should be emulated and promoted moving forward. Yes.
Okay. For time, let's please help me pass the mic. Help me pass the mic to Faith Agada. Yes. So this particular question, now one of the talking points for us is that we're focusing on storytelling as a tool for behavioral and attitudinal change. And that sometimes you see a movie, just on the side note, I was watching a short skit sometime within the week, and the lady finished talking to someone, and her husband came to meet her and to tell her, what happened here does not apply to us. So don't feel that anger with me because it doesn't apply to us. Now, which brings us to attitudinal change. The films that we have, do you think it invokes a positive feeling, action, behavior, or negative? I want you to be honest.
Okay, thank you so much for this. Story shapes culture,
and culture shapes behavior, right? So the movies that we have right now is a two-way thing. It could influence both positively and negatively. So I'll give myself as an example. I work around SDG 3, gender and SDG 3, good health and well-being, and my focal area is menstrual health and hygiene. And now we want to tell a story. We want to pass a good narrative. We want to break cultures and barriers. I started making stories around menstrual health and hygiene, crimes, gender-based violence, and how it affects women, youth, and society. So those kind of stories will pass a good narrative. And when kids are watching it, teenagers are watching it, the men are being involved in the narrative, it drives a positive story home, which begins to shape the culture of people at home. So that also implies to negative stories. But I think as of recent, the narratives are changing because I've also been seeing movies that have been aired telling positive stories, not just also about the culture, also about Nigeria and our future. So there are lots of positive stories and plays going on. So it's a two-way thing. But I think we should push more in telling positive stories that will help the younger generation see things from a different perspective from where we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This particular question I have is for Ambassador Dr. Eze Ihechukwu Mary Ezekiel. As one who is, country director, United Nations Youth Delegate Program, I'm sure you're very familiar with the creative space, you're familiar with youth involvement, you're familiar with a whole lot of these things. Now, my question is still when it comes to our stories. Our stories, do you think that Nigeria lacks proper storytelling? Do you think we lack proper storytelling? Do you think that there is a gap when it comes to how we tell our stories for positive impact?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. But before that, we would like to express our profound gratitude to the SSA on SDGs, to the President and our team. I appreciate the audience. So coming to your question, Nollywood and entertainment industry is one of the best when you compare with Hollywood, Bollywood.
You want to put your hands together for that? Please put your hands together.
So we have a lot of creative and innovative potentials in the Nollywood industry. And to a reasonable extent, as a Nigerian, they are doing very well to tell the story, both the positive and the negative. Yeah. And also on the aspect of the SDGs. They are doing, to a reasonable extent, they are doing the needful to tell the story. Because without them telling the story, I don't think this event will take place. Because we are here to reward, appreciate the actors and the actresses for the great work they are doing to promote the SDGs and all that. So thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Rosemary Akpogo Emmanuel, right. Okay, so I would want us to talk on the aspect of talent development, mentorship, and of course, breaking global barriers for African youth. What can we do, to harness the talent we have right here in Nigeria in terms of in the creative space? What can we do to harness the talents we have in terms of what is the place of mentorship for us?
All right, thank you so much. So I work in development communications for nonprofits. So I have seen the work that we have been doing, and like he said, we have been doing an incredible job. And that's because the stories we tell are authentic stories. Now, when we go to the field, we see the crises and problems in the field, and we document these raw and authentically without filter, because these are the lived experiences and challenges people face in their communities. So now, for creatives in the development space, I would say that we are doing a great job as young people, pushing these stories, getting the word out there, putting these impactful things out there. Now, talking about we being in the global stage, now I think at this juncture, lots of creatives in the nonprofit sector are doing great job. Documentary filmmakers are pushing out great narratives. But I think that most times, issue comes with funding for those projects. Now, you have great films, you have a great story, you want to do the work, but you pitch your story out there, but sometimes there is this selectiveness in stories that are getting funded. Now, maybe donors at that point, their priorities may differ from the thematic area of your story. So now you're thrown by the side and that project is not funded. And then maybe somebody else gets the funding because of the thematic area that aligns with the global funds at that moment. So I think right now there is that chaos of getting funding for projects to like push your story. And for mentorship, I would say that for all of us, for young people like myself in the creative sector, in the nonprofit, when we reach out, even via LinkedIn, you get people mentor you for free. In fact, their hands are open to mentor you. So I give that credit to everybody doing the great job. And aside from that funding for the creative work that we are doing, for mentorship, we are getting it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together if you want to. No, before you pass the mic, I do have a question for you before you pass the mic. You talked about challenge of getting funding. Now, we're trying to look at how we can break these barriers for African youths. And we need to be able to identify what these challenges are, right? So that we could fix it and move to the next level. So what could be this? Let us try to identify. So I'm going to, for this question, not only you will respond, we'll have like 3 other responses. What could be the challenge, to not get this funding? Is it that our stories are not great enough? Is it that our talents are not good enough? Is it, what exactly could be the challenge that we're not having the funding for our stories?
All right, firstly, I would want to thank the organizers of this project. When I stepped in, I watched all the short movies being played here, and honestly, I'm impressed with everything there. I saw stories that are strong advocacy stories, and I think when I was watching Scar, one thing that came to me, I remembered my grandma one period when she came to the house. And we were watching Z-Word, it was Indian, and it was a scene of domestic violence. But my grandma did not understand India, but when she saw that a woman was being hit and it was that bad, she started screaming. And I just knew that a message has been passed across to my grandmother that this is wrong. On all levels, this is wrong. And when I watched Scar, in fact, I was like, this is a very perfect tool for advocacy. It just spoke into the current challenges we are facing as young women here in Nigeria. So back to your question, sorry I deviated. Like I said earlier, we have all it takes, you understand? But sometimes priorities differ, funding priorities differ. Now, I have a good story on education, but we are not trying to fund education at this point, we are trying to fund climate. So no matter how I push my story, I'm not what you want, so you're not going to fund me. So I just feel like we should come to a common ground where funding, projects are not funded based on the current priorities at the moment, but what the message that project is trying to solve, the advocacy, the strong to the policy change, that creative film or documentary is trying to achieve at that moment. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, right, Honorable, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just to piggyback off what you said, I think when it comes to the film and creativity, is that there's a lot of passion for projects, there's a lot of creativity. However, often there's a lack of understanding for business development. So for example, if you're trying to pitch, your project to an international partner, a lot of times people haven't even prepared the right materials for someone to take you seriously enough. Or maybe you haven't been able to convey the vision in such a concise way that someone, because if you're pitching to an investor, for example, right, they're probably seeing so many other opportunities in that same week or day that you pitch to them. But I feel like we need to have more like capacity building workshops for filmmakers that actually teaches them and educates them on business development, because they can have such an amazing, impactful film that could actually solve a great problem and spreads the right awareness, but like just that lack of understanding how to prepare the right materials, or even tailor materials according to who you're pitching to or the stakeholders that are relevant to it. But I think Dr. Sarah wants to add to it. Oh, no.
All right, Dr. Sarah, please go ahead.
Okay, I wasn't going to, but I will because my area is finance. And the truth is, what happens most times with Nigerians is we are full of passion. We're full of passion and we lack structure. We just want to go out because of the passion. Yes, you have a project you're pursuing and all that, but do you have a business plan? Are you fund ready? The truth is most times we are not fund ready because we do not have our business plans. We are not structured in a way that would even allow you to receive funding. Take for instance, you do a short film or you want to produce a short film and funding is given to you without a business plan, without structure. What happens to that funding? What happens most times with founders is they get the opportunity for funding and they begin to buy car.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, I'm in the finance space, so I understand how these things work. They begin to think about their immediate needs. So they are not putting it or channeling it into the right places. That's because they do not even have structure to begin with. This movie I want to produce, what do I need to do with it? How much do I need? Sometimes it might surprise you to know that they don't even know how much they need. They have not sat down to calculate the cost. What is it? They just have a rough estimate in their heads that, oh, this is it. So I'm talking from the finance point of view, not from the film point of view. So most times, what happens with funding is you want to get funding for a project. Do you have a business account to begin with? Or are we going to fund you through a personal account? No funder will do that. No serious funder will fund you through a personal account. If you have a business account for your production, by the time we check your bank statements, what are we seeing? Are we seeing 5,000 naira for pepper, 2,000 naira for onions? Is that what we are seeing on your bank statement?
5,005 for both.
What?
5,500 for both.
For both. So these are the issues. So most times it's not about finding funding. Yes, they would have that challenge, but most times is the first thing to ask yourself, am I fund ready for the monies I'm seeking? Because no serious funder will fund an unstructured venture.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Sarah. Please put your hands together. Now, you've drawn our attention to the aspect, just like music, we have the business of music and music as an art. So also we have the business of filmmaking and, of course, filmmaking as a creativity, talent, and a tool for impactful messages. But while you were answering the questions, I got some questions, which is the aspect of, could it be that our films, our films that we're making, yes, we wanted to tell impactful stories, but then again, is it exciting? Because I've seen people complain about the fact that you find movies that are not exactly telling such wonderful stories, getting huge funds, you know, they're releasing these films on cinema and they're at different places, but the stories, the films that have impactful stories are not exactly getting as much attention. So could it be that we're not balancing the excitement of seeing a movie versus the message in the movie? Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. This narrative affects everyone. Like, people like promoting what is on the negative. If someone is here dancing nude or shaking butts, you hear a lot of persons clapping and just pick up a pen and try to talk about SDG goals. You see that even the concentration of the youths will no longer be focused on what you are saying. Like, okay, talk and go now. So those are the kind of society we have found ourselves today, where youths are no longer interested in educational stuff or stories or things, you know, that could inspire them. You go through the internet, you are seeing so many negative stories put out there. And then when you put on an educational content, you find that the engagement is less. So we need to start changing the narratives of the people. And it begins with engaging more on positive storytelling, pushing rightful content that could change the mindset of people. So it's all about mindset. So we can start changing the mindset by pushing engaging and educational content out there and promoting it as well. We'll begin to have better engagement when it comes to positive storytelling. And then again, to add to what she was saying, SDG 17 talks about partnership and collaboration. A lot of persons just want to stand alone and do things and get the whole reward for themselves. But when we begin to collaborate, work together, even if you can't access that grant for yourself and you have other collaborating or implementing partners, you guys could work together and achieve something bigger than what one person could push out there. Thank you.
All right. As we get set to wrap up, I just want to pass over to Mr. Ifeanyi Ofodu. This particular question, yes, she's talked about collaboration as part of solution, but what other creative solutions can we, implore for youth to accelerate the SDG implementation?
Yes, I think I'll speak towards what we failed, because I've worked with African Union as a youth champion and also UNICEF as a youth champion before I got my role. There is something we need to note. It's not what works for Mr. A, it's what will work for Mr. B. And also know your target audience. If you know your target audience, you'll narrow down the people you want to fund your project, make your project bankable, then you can move ahead with it. For example, you will not take a project that speaks on gender-based violence to people that are funding projects that speaks on climate change. Do your research. Narrow down your research. Who will be interested in your craft? With that, you'll be able to realize, for example, people that are the animation stuff, you don't take your stuff to people that are dealing with cultural movies and stuff. So you have to know where you belong, and when you realize that you'll be able to excel in whichever industry you are. Meanwhile, if you're in gender-based violence kind of related movie, go to people like Ford Foundation, go to people like UN Women. We don't even do the research. Then we'll stay in the house and start crying. Nobody's helping us. So I think that's what I want to train.
All right. Let's pass the mic to, all right, your final words in terms of creative solutions.
Okay, yeah, like Ifeanyi said, you should know the exact thing you want to do and to know the people that will give you the support. For example, if you are championing quality education, or you are championing gender equality or thereabout, like in quality education, you have to meet UNESCO. For example, we're in the United Nations systems. UNESCO for guidance, for mentorship, then their expectation on that quality education, for example, not just quality education on general note.
I want you to speak for yourself. So which people should come to you?
Okay,
which people should come to you? Which category should come to you?
Okay, for us, United Nations Youth Delegate Program Nigeria and United Nations Youth Association Nigeria champions the 17 SDG goals, starting from the MDGs and SDGs.
I'll say.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll engage the young people, educate them about the SDGs, mentor them, then guide them on the aspect they want to trade to achieve the SDGs.
All right, so anybody who is working on a project that has to do with the
SDGs
should come to you.
Should come to us.
You've heard it from him. Yeah. You've heard it from him. Please, please, you know where to find him. So I think at this point, we've come to the end of this session. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Esther Akpovi. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarah Mana. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi Ofodu. Thank you so much, Faith Agada, Ambassador Dr. Eze, and of course, Rosemary Akpora Emmanuel. Thank you so much for joining us on this session. I'm sure some of you have questions, but you can meet them afterwards to ask your questions and see how you can get funded. My name is Cynthia Agbo, and it's so great to be here. Thank you so much.
Celebrate Cynthia Agbo, doing a great job. I got from the discussion is that you should be funding ready. That means you should have your business plan, you should have worked out your papers, your documents, to be sure that when somebody is willing to put money into your business, you are ready to respond. Just outside, I saw one young man. He was talking to himself. I thought he was rehearsing his lines. But I noticed that he was talking for too long. So I walked up to him and said, young man, I hope there's no problem. He said, sir, anytime you see me talking to myself, just leave me alone. I'm a CEO of my company. I'm self-employed. And right now, we are holding a staff meeting. So anytime you see your colleague talking to themselves, it's very possible they are in a Zoom meeting. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we want to especially appreciate you all for turning out to this. Every year, it is different. And this year, Desmond and his team have taken this to a notch higher. Please, let's celebrate Desmond with a round of applause. Before we bring up the next panel, we want to invite for a goodwill message. Let's especially appreciate the Director General for the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, Honorable Aisha Adamu Augi, to come and do a goodwill message. Please put your hands together for her. Please, let's celebrate her. Put your hands together for her.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know it's post-lunch, or maybe some haven't had lunch. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'll stand on existing protocols. My name is Aisha Adamu Augi, the Director General, Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization. And we have always been supporters of the SDGs and, of course, the Office of the OSAP SDGs. And it's always an honor to be here with all of you. And of course, when it comes to creativity connected to who we are as a people, this is something we stand for. Recently, I watched a skit. Who knows Brain Jotter? Very popular guy, clearly. So I recently watched a skit by Brain Jotter that was funny in the beginning, but was actually quite depressing in the end. But it still entertained and passed a story. And it was on gender-based violence and women who get stuck in those kind of positions. And the way it was presented would have you think. You have people around you that hold on to certain norms and force it, reinforce it. And that's the same with film. The way we tell our stories either help to fix some things or break them. And that's why it's very important to have events like these, short films that continue to change the way we think, that continues to also add value, make things better for society. So I'll say congratulations to all the winners and all the people who have been showcased and will be showcased later in the grand finale. Your work is exceptional. Your work is changing lives, in as much as it may not be sexy and popular, as they say, but it's adding value. So I want to continue to tell all our filmmakers that it may seem like you are not making an impact, but you are. You really, truly are. And we continue to say thank you to the Office of the OSAP SDGs for continuing to promote and build on the SDGs. You know, we don't have a lot of time to 2030. There's a huge gap in the funding. There's a huge gap in understanding the value of telling the stories that matter, instead of looking at things just from the financial perspective. We also call on the private sector and individuals to continue to support our young people and people who want to tell the stories that matter. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Always, and we thank you for pointing that out. I know also that CBAC is doing a whole lot, and you are taking it also a little higher this time. May I invite from the office, from OSAP SDGs, to do a little message of welcome. Let's welcome Alam Aliu Lolo. Please put your hands together for him. Please celebrate him. Without their office, we would not have been able to put this together. But thank you, sir, for always making this possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to lean on the already established protocol and on behalf of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, deliver her welcome remark. She would have loved to be here personally, but due to some pressing issues, she was not able to make it. And now I step into her big shoes. Permit me to do my modest. I may not be able to do as she would ordinarily do, but I will try my best. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the grand finale of the SDGs Short Film Challenge. Today, we celebrate creativity, innovation, and the power of young Nigerians to shape national conversations around sustainable development. The challenge was conceived to give our youths a platform to tell compelling stories that reflect our collective aspirations under the 2030 agenda. I am proud to say that the quality of entries, the passion demonstrated, and the depths of understanding shown in these films reaffirm that our country is rich with talent, vision, and determination. I appreciate our partners, judges, mentors, filmmakers, and all participants whose hard work has brought us to this inspiring moment. Your contributions highlight the role of storytelling in driving awareness, influencing policy, and mobilizing communities towards achieving the SDGs. As we celebrate today's finalists and winners, let us also reaffirm our commitment to building a more inclusive, equitable, and sustainable Nigeria. One where no one is left behind. Once again, thank you so very much for attending this event and for listening to me. God bless you as you return to your various destinations. Thank you.
Please, another round of applause for him. There's a more modern way to deliver a goodwill or a welcome address, and that for me was key. Thank you very much, sir, for doing that perfectly. At one of the events I was invited as MC, it was the commissioning of a bridge. And the minister who was going to commission that bridge had not read his speech before that day. And his PA only managed to print one copy of the speech. We were all standing on the bridge when the PA brought the paper with shaky hands. And in between collecting the paper from his PA's hand, there was a bad wind that came and took the paper from the PA's hand, and the thing went into the river. And the man had not read the speech before that day, so he looked at all of us and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, with my speech in the river, I hereby commission the bridge." It was the shortest ministerial speech ever. Well, thank you, sir, for the honor of doing that very beautiful speech this afternoon. May I especially welcome from the Office of the Deputy Speaker, Special Advisor, Investment, Private Sector Affairs and Infrastructure, Honorable Ogbonna Okuku. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you here. Also with us here is the Assistant Interagency Coordination from the Assistant Interagency Coordination Office. Is actually the Assistant and Interagency Coordination Officer for the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. May I especially welcome Zadon Timothy Leonard. Please put your hands together for him. Also with us here is the National Program Manager for the National Social Investment Program Agency. We especially welcome Hamza Ibrahim Baba. You're welcome. Please put your hands together for him. We have a long list that I must carefully take. We have the Executive Director, Gender Strategy Advancement International, Dr. Adora Onyechi Sydney Jack. Please put your hands together for her. Also with us is the representative of NAPTIP, who's the NAPTIP Assistant Director of NAPTIP, Assistant Director in charge of Intelligence, Public Enlightenment Department, Madam Noli Cynthia. Please put your hands together. Thank you. Also here with us, a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, Chief Dr. Abiodun Esiet. Please put your hands together. Thank you very much. We are honored to have you. Also here, Director General of the National Senior Citizen Center, represented by Mrs. Juliet Barry Agbo, is Honorable Omobolanle Akinyemi Obey. Please put your hands together. Thank you. Also with us here is the SDGs Delta State, representing His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, is Honorable Diana Eyo Enote. Please put your hands together. Thank you very much. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, while we continue to take representations and recognitions, while we also continue to appreciate people who have come out to be a part of what we're doing, it is also important that we know that time is of the essence, and I apologize if I have not called your name, to say that we will do this as we continue. But next on the line will be a discussion around money, financial impact, unlocking partnerships and investments for SDGs-driven filmmaking. If you have a script, you have a thought, you have an idea, you are thinking of making it better, this is where you begin to hold a pen, because the next panel indeed will help you to understand what you need to do to get your fame to bear. May I therefore invite the moderator for this panel, is one that the New York Times describes as a man with gold in his voice, silver on his beards, and platinum in his character. As a broadcast journalist, may I especially welcome Mr. Nyota Egbe. Please put your hands together for him as he comes up to lead us in this one. Please put your hands together for him.
Of the EU, please put your hands together for her. She comes up. Leila Benamo Matthew. Okay, let's welcome AVM Kenneth Iyamu, former DG of the National Emergency Management Agency and a climate change expert as he comes up. Please put your hands together for him as he comes. Also, Paul Gold, Olalikon Joseph, filmmaker, CEO, AfriGold's Film Academy. Paul Gold. Please put your hands together for him as he comes up. Also, Emmanuel Eyaba, Public Relations Officer, Directors Guild of Nigeria. As he comes up, let's welcome Ruby Rose, founder, CHC Agritech Africa. Please put your hands together for them as they come. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Please, can the ladies sit close to me here? Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. So we'll go real quick. There are microphones for each of you, so you could just pick up your microphone and be sure that it's on. There's no microphone for the lady, please. Thank you. All right, I'll just start off. In the last panel, we got a phrase from the last panel, being fund ready. You have the ideas, you have the desire, you have the passion, but are you ready? Do you have a business plan? What is your end game when you're done telling the story? And I wrote something down. I said, Nigeria tells stories, even in the challenged situations, but we don't really have to go through the challenges if we're well prepared. So this man sitting down here, let's talk about the money. And I'll start with you, Ruby Rose, as I say, ladies first, before the men, indeed. So let's go real quick. How do we get to that point where we can unlock the purses of the organizations, the corporate organizations, even the government organizations in the area of CSR and ESR?
Good afternoon, everybody, and congratulations to this wonderful event. First and foremost, my name is Ruby Ross. I am an agri-cool tourist. A tourist that came to Nigeria and understand Nigeria traveling across 20 states. So agro-tourism is my thing, and talking about money, we need to push for more agro-tourism activities. Unfortunately, when I came, I realized that before we can even talk about agro-tourism, we need to increase our production first. So it's always about the quality. It's about environmental impact first, take care of our environment. And when we get to a certain stage, we now increase our production, and that's the time we can now talk about tourism, which drives investment and more compliance, acceptance out there when we reach out to the standards. Yes, I can talk more about money about later.
Okay, but you see, I'll just stay with you before I bring in the gentleman. We're talking money, we're talking filmmaking. Nigeria, we hardly see stories about agriculture in the films. I mean, I will get to the filmmakers. Tell us why we hardly have stories about agriculture or farming in most of the films. We see farmers being depicted, but can we get people or organizations that will fund films that are focused on encouraging people to go into farming easily?
Yes, of course. Like, look into the, I'm sure everybody watches National Geographic, right? And so we are fascinated by how the world is, the animals out there, the different sceneries in different world. Nigeria, I mean, even Abuja itself already has nice places. So talking about funding, the thing about money is that it goes around emotion. People, CSRs or corporate organizations, even governments, corporate bodies, grantors, they decide based on emotions. And so filmmaking is an advantage, an edge in bridging that gap, in bringing in the financial, the financial opportunities. Because when we watch a film and you tend to be happy about it, and when they are happy about it, they tend to be like amazed, what are this? However, for filmmaking to be very efficient in using agriculture as a tool, in bringing in more money for SDG or filmmaking, we need to focus on looking on more scalable solution, projecting more of the solutions rather than the problems in agriculture. We so much showcase out there the problems in the communities, the farmers, that they look poor and all. Why not having a picture of a farmer, a woman farmer, that is doing a very good modernized way of farming? And that's what we do also at CHE Agritech Africa. We try to showcase scalable solutions that will transform narratives through storytelling, which is a sort of a filmmaking.
Thank you. AVM Iyamo, as a climate expert, and this is something that concerns you a great deal, the stories that are told, SDG-related stories, protecting the climate, or showing forth what people are doing to enhance the environment, there are very few stories and far between. But to get those stories, she has said here, money goes where the passion is, where you're able to ignite the passion of the people or the compassion of anyone or any organization, they will send money there. But do we have that kind of situation? And real quick, I'm talking to the AVM now, how can we ignite that flame in our filmmakers?
Thank you very much. I'm so delighted to be here because when I heard the name and the generation that is here, I was so excited because the people always say that climate change is an elitist conversation. I say no. Now, as filmmakers, you have a lot of trajectory. By our last research and statistics, 8 out of 10 Nigerians believe their government is not doing enough for climate change. They don't even know what is happening. Yet, 1 out of every 4 under 18 years is going to live inside very, very harsh conditions before 2030. And it might interest you again, of all the countries in Africa, only Seychelles is moving positively in sustainable development goals. I think there's another country that is trying to join. Now, where do you come in? If you are able to bring in a film, you condescend it to a film and put it out there, the youth will be willing to relate with it because it will last more in their memory. And if you are dealing with a generation, you have to look at their passion. Film is what is, is what is going now. If you're able to, bring in that passion and take it to the scene, to the financial scene, you are going to get a lot of money. By 2024 statistics, almost 56% of Nigerian development were from services. Services. And what is services? It's all film like this. It films. And you are not talking enough about your SDG. SDG one is, and 2, hunger and poverty. And 15 is living on the earth. And those are very, very key. Again, if you have a country where the banks are richer than the manufacturing sector, you really have to key into it. So the issue is not about money for you. The issue is about momentum. Momentum that's going to be defined in passion. Momentum is going to be defined in livelihood. Momentum is going to be defined in life. Momentum of telling the stories. Now, the Mokwa flooding, I've never seen a story depicting it. Till today, no story. The Meduguri dam burst, no story about it. No film. So, we are still very far, and we want to rely on the young generation, to put out this narrative out there. It is very important. Approach the bank. The services money, it's not the money that is used to finance every other thing that is relevant. Like I said, by 2030, 242 young people below the age of 18 will be out of school. What are we doing about that?
242,000 or
million people, yes, across the world will be out of school due to climate change. So, please, I am so happy to be here. You need to escalate your film's production very, very well. It doesn't need to be so long, because nobody have the time now to sit for a film that is 3 hours. No. I used to tell them, if you want to write a book, write it to be very short now, because what is so important in books now is that if you take it from this airport, you want to read it and drop it at the next airport. So it is very, very important. Before we go for the 4th agenda, that's in the next 5 years, what are we doing? What is the film going to show us?
Okay,
so I will just rest there now and allow...
Let me take you to the filmmaker. Paul Gold,
Yes.
the question, he has asked the question I would have asked. What are the films saying? I mean, you've had the challenge of funding of your films sometimes, and somehow you've overcome them. Maybe at one time you got investors to come in. But for these, climate change, SDGs for instance, we have the carbon credit. You've heard about carbon credits. So if you're doing things that have to do with the environment and all of that, or reducing carbon emissions in the earth, yes, you're bound to get carbon credit, and that means money. So what films are we telling, or are we looking to tell? Or what kind of films should the filmmakers in the building be looking to tell that can unlock the...
You see, the kind of films that the stories that we should tell, first off, we need to align our stories with the sources where we're expecting funding to come from. I think that was said passively on the previous panel. So for instance, if I sat on the same table over there with a lady from World Food Program. So supposing I want to tell a story around World Food Program, something around food, hunger, goal 1 and 2, hunger and poverty, for instance. I should look at first, even if it's their website, open their website and read what are their focus areas. What are the ideals that these organizations seek to promote? Then have other options, not just one. Not just a one-way traffic thing, or World Food Program. So if World Food Program at the end of the day says no to my proposal, then the proposal dies. What other alternatives do I have? If it's climate, what organizations are working in that space that I have itemized that I want to reach out to? And for each of them, what are their focus areas? Because even within the climate sector, there are thematic areas that some of them, do this, some of them do advocacy, some do not do advocacy, for instance. So I believe that purpose and alignment is the first thing. The filmmaker should first look at what organization I'm approaching for funding, because impact stories are not stories that you primarily want to put in the cinemas and expect box office returns. So you're looking for free money, but the money is not free from the people who wants to give you. They have a serious business mindset. In the business world, we call it ROI, but in the development world, I think it's KPI more. It tilts towards more of KPI. So what's the key performance index? At the end of the day, what would you indicate what I mean to say? At the end of the day, what would you say is your result if we give you 50 million naira to do this movie? What are your results? So if you come as a filmmaker and what you're telling them that will be your result is, people will see the movie in the cinema. Okay, cinema, would you make money in the cinema? They see that you are still thinking of making money. What they want to see is impact. So if you are able to say, for instance, that you will take it around campuses in 7 states or across 6 geopolitical zones, because it's a youth-focused program and is campaigning something about climate change, and you take it around maybe 3 universities in each of the 6 geopolitical zones, you can estimate that each of the halls will seat maybe 300 to 500 people. Then you are giving numbers in terms of KPI. That's what they want to see more in terms of working with. Now, I'd want to quickly say that the development partners too needs to help us, help the filmmakers, in the sense that most times when we develop proposals, beautiful idea, fantastic storyline that aligns with their thematic area, and we take it to them, more often than not, they tend to ask to want to look at people who have handled similar projects or bigger projects like that before. And it's the same mindset with the bankers that AVM here talked about.
Yeah.
I don't even encourage any of my colleagues to go waste their time with the bankers. The bankers in Nigeria are still in yesterday, where they ask you to go and bring a mansion in Asokoro as collateral before they give you money to make a film. And when you provide that, even via third party, they still tell you that I don't understand your industry. How many tickets did you say you are going to sell in the cinema again? I am not sure. What if it doesn't work? So, whereas Nigerian government has changed the rule, made it a bit easier, but they are not obeying it yet. Maybe this is a good platform to talk about it. Intellectual property deposit. A hard drive in my studio, a hard drive in a studio might be worth more than that house in Maitama. Courtesy of what's inside.
So I think we'll tell the organizers of this event to organize another one for the banking industry.
It's very
so that
important.
We can tell them this.
It's very important.
Let me throw this question to the house. Please, how many of us, if you're in this place and you have your phone with you, can you just wave it, please? Sorry, please just wave your phone. Thank you very much. So if we have up to 100 people here, we have 100 mini movie directors. And I'm taking this question based on this to you, Emmanuel. If you have 100 people here, everybody here at one time or the other will whip out their phone to film something, to tell a story. Someone is dancing, an accident happened, or something is happening. So we have movie directors in the building. And almost everybody here will post on all the various platforms, telling certain stories. So Emmanuel, why would you think that organizations, funders, will not fund that story that Michael, that Abraham, that Ibrahim, that Ayo, that Ogbonna is telling with their phone? What is the problem? Is it a question of structure? Even if they are telling stories that have to do with the SDG, telling stories of poverty and how it can be turned around, telling stories of that little girl in one rural community who has turned her challenging situation to a positive light. Why won't these organizations or corporates wish to fund it?
All right, thank you so much. Basically, Nollywood actually started from commercial filmmaking. Now, we have broadly those who are into commercial filmmaking and those who are into social impact filmmaking. And social impact filmmaking is films that are meant to change the society positively, especially what the SDGs is preaching. But when we started with Nollywood, it was more about a wicked mother-in-law, a wicked father-in-law, somebody who is collecting somebody's wife somewhere. But right now, the dynamics are really, really changing. Now, if anybody in this room decides or wants to make a movie, the first thing you should ask yourself, where you are going to request for that money, what value are you giving to them? Once you pick to the value of the individual who you're going to request for money from, they will definitely give it to you. These funders are actually looking for where they can put their monies on. They are looking for filmmakers who can give them value. But incidentally, we just want to feel it's easier to make a film that will go to cinema or that will Netflix will pick up immediately. And social impact films are actually not really entertaining. They are more about education. A film is meant to do three basic things: to inform, to educate, and to entertain. So if you're able to meet either of those, you are actually going to get the funds you require. So if anybody in this room, for instance, now, let me pick a typical example. Okay, we talked about, let's use the Army, for instance. We are here in the conference center of the Army, and the filmmaker here now wants to make a film about the Army. What kind of film are you making for the Army? Basically, the Army, one thing people feel right now is that they think that the Army is not doing enough. There's so much insecurity in Nigeria. Everyone is really, really scared. So the Army is now looking for someone who is actually going to rebrand the image, make them understand that the Army is not as weak as you think it is. So if I come up, for instance, now, and I have an opportunity to meet the Kwaz and tell him, Kwaz, sir, I have this film that is actually going to make Nigerians sleep with their eyes closed. The Kwaz would definitely want to put money into that. So I think as a filmmaker, you should actually design your plan, design your concept, let it speak to the organization you're going for, and they'll definitely want to give you the funds you require.
Okay, let me come back to you, Ruby Ross. You started talking about you're an agri-tourist, right? And poverty and hunger, part of the SDGs. And we're winding down real quick, so every one of us will weigh in on this one question. We've talked about creating films that will add value, impact films, and everybody here can do same if they so desire. You've talked, when I asked the question of structure, having structured, you've decided this is the value I want to add, and I have structured it. I've found out that so and so is willing to fund it, but you go and you do not get the film, or you do not get the fund, or you go, somebody else will go and they'll get the fund. The question I want to ask is there a secret code? Is there a way to dress? Is there a way to speak when you go to meet these people? All of us will weigh in on this. Is there a way to carry yourself when you go to meet these funders? Again, I'll go back. You have the idea, you have structured it, you have looked at value addition, you have put it all together, and it's in line with the SDGs. You have even worked out how to measure impact on your own. You've worked out the platforms where you're going to put this short movie that you have made. How do you deliver this to the funders? You have 30 seconds each. I know we're out of time.
Yes, I believe you just need to show them the purpose, because investors, funders really look into the purpose. And since you have the traction, everything, I think you just need to show to them that why you're really doing it and for what particular group of people, and if there's really an audience for that particular purpose. It's a matter of how you communicate it, and then the communication skills really play a part in showcasing your idea. You may have the best idea, but not being able to communicate it is going to be a gap towards that. So communicate it well.
Avia Miyama.
I'm going to speak still on the funding. Now, the Paris Agreement, as of today, is 10 years old. Nobody has been able to pick it up and make a film on it. But then, 9% of the global stock is on green energy. It's on the green world. So the money is out there. But if we're talking of funding here, it's not as easy as we're talking about it. The funding agencies, they are not Father Christmas. You have to live up to the responsibility. They drill you like no tomorrow. Why is 2030 very important? Because when the Paris Agreement came on board, we needed 6% of the resources of the world to be able to deal with it. As we are speaking now, we're going to need about 7% of the world resources to deal with it. As of this year. So by 2030, you are going to have 790 people who are going to be hungry. Since you talk about hunger, you're going to be hungry in the world. And 888 million of them will be multidimensionally poor. Don't forget, 139 million of them is already in Nigeria. So what are you doing to change the narrative? We could not have the hosting right for COP32. What went wrong? There should be a film to bring out those particular issues. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that question I asked was, you have thought about that film. You have put it all together. How do you deliver this to get them to fund?
Well, for like she said, there's always a thematic area. It's just like asking for the fund. There are ingredients that you have to put in the film. What is trending at that particular time? Now, across the world now, is flooding that is going on. How are the people suffering from flooding? In Nigeria now, you find out that most of the challenges are on flooding. What are you doing about Mokwa and Meduguri? How are you bringing out people who are living in the vulnerable areas? What is their challenges? What's their challenges? So the film must focus more on the challenges, because since you are not a climate expert, we don't expect you to bring out the solution. But the challenges must be very, very vivid so that the funding agencies can look at it. That's what they want to relay with. If you check Conference of Party number 30, you see what they were all talking. That was a conference to review everything that has been going for the past 30 years. And that's where the film should have been very, very important.
Thank you. Paul Gold?
Hello. All right, so some of the funders we're talking about are seated right in this room. And the point is, you have thought about everything, you've put your proposal together. How do you deliver it to them? You must remember that they also look at your trajectory. Where are you coming from? What have you done before? I was talking about that the other time. The only thing is, they also need to come to a balance. Don't ask for too much, because someone might have a very genuine vision, but, I mean, he hasn't done really much. But maybe you ask him to collaborate with some other persons who have done much more than him, and then you get the vision done. So for the filmmaker, how do you present it? Also remember that some of them do not take on solicited proposals. Some do take, some do not take. So finding your way, if you're able to sit one-on-one with the funders, the development partners, to pitch your vision. Do not sound unrealistic. Be as simple as possible. Be as transparent as possible. Let your vision, your passion, let it be obvious in your pitch. And your budget as well should not be. I think I have seen a few budgets that people say, please help me look at this. And I was just laughing. I mean, because you are talking to development partners, you think you can budget dollars like you budget in Naira. And you're just budgeting dollars in millions. And I told somebody, I said, convert this into Naira and see what it is. The person who sits on the other side of the table that you expect to approve this thing, don't you think he's been living in this country too, even though he's a foreigner? He has other Nigerians who are working around him. He would convert it and look at it and say, this guy wants to go and build his family estate. So, as simple as that, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Emmanuel.
All right, one of the biggest challenges filmmakers have is we always refuse to do collaborations. For me, I think collaborations is the next level now. The fact that you're a good filmmaker does not necessarily make you a good grant writer or someone who can actually seek for grant. And that's where a lot of people fail. You know, we fail to generate the numbers. These people want to hear figures. They want to see numbers. They want to see what you have to offer. And we go there and want to speak good English. I want to use this camera to film. I want to use the person. They're not interested in all of that. They want to see figures. They want to see numbers. So what I would advise any person to do is, if you're seeking for grants, seeking for support, try to collaborate with grant writers. Let them help you develop your idea into a sellable document. And with that, you're definitely going to get the grant you seek. Thank you.
Thank you very much, as we've heard today. So you have the idea, you have the story you want to tell, you decided what angle or what value you want to add. The next thing to look at is package that story. Having packaged it, think about who you can work with, collaborations. Who are those that you can relate with to get this idea out there? Then approach those from whom you seek the funds. But do not go to them looking to build your, as Emmanuel, who said it, Paul Gold, wanting to build your family estate. Go to them wanting to make impact, measurable impact, and then go out there and do what you need to do. Seek for collaboration. Do not think to go it alone. If you can go it alone, no problem. But there are people you can work with. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ruby Rose, founder, CHC Agritech Africa. Thank you. Emmanuel Ayaba, PRO, Directors Guild of Nigeria. Paul Gold Olalekan Joseph, filmmaker, CEO of Afrigo's Film Academy. And AVM Kenneth Yamu, former DG NEMA and climate change expert. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sitting with me on this panel. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. I'd like to invite the organizers for a picture as we leave the stage. Thank you. Also here with us, may I especially welcome and appreciate the representative of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, represented here today by Dr. Mokhtar Yawale, who is Mohammed MFR, MNI, who is the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism, and the Creative Economy. Please put your hands together for him. May I also specially appreciate the DFA for OSAP SDGs, Malam Aliu Shehu Usman. Please put your hands together for him. We have also with us the head of admin, Malam Abubakar Haruna. Please, let's clap for them. These are the people making it possible for us to have this program every year. We have also QS Noura Ali Rano. You're welcome. Please, let's put our hands together for them. We also have here, representing the President and Chairman of Council of NIPR, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Ike Neliaku, is represented here by Dr. Tokwe Ojeme. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much, sir. Also here we have the National Program Manager for Government Enterprise Empowerment Program of the National Social Investment Program Agency. We have Hamza Ibrahim Baba. You're welcome. Please, let's celebrate him. We have also Hajia
Rabiatu Aimugu, who is the head legal of NSIPA, and also Alhaji Zakari Ali, Deputy Director of the NSIPA. Thank you very much for the honor. Also here today we have Director for the National Film and Video Censors Board, Dr. Shuaibu Hussein, PhD, is represented here by Director in the agency, Mohammed Bukar. Please put your hands together for him. Also here is the head of the department, National Growing School Feeding, Homegrown School Feeding Program, Ali Mohammed Zakari. Please celebrate him. WHO Deputy Country Rep, Dr. Alex Chimbaru is also with us, and also from OSAP SDGs, Jimo Abdusalam. Thank you very much for coming through. We have a long list, and I must continue to take them slowly because of time, but it's important that we take the next speaker, who will be speaking for the Deputy Speaker. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, from the Office of the Deputy Speaker is the Special Advisor, Investment, Private Sector Affairs and Infrastructure. Let's welcome Honorable Ogbonna Ukuku to deliver the message from the Deputy Speaker. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you so much. I'm here standing in for His Excellency, the Deputy Speaker, Nigerian House of Representatives. He would have loved to be here, but he has other engagements, so he decided that I should be here to represent him because of how important this event is to him. He believes in young people. He believes in things that will change the narratives. And he's someone who has been projecting and pushing laws, and even in the legislative agenda, it is well clear that anything that will support the growth and the development of young people, that he will be part of it. So distinguished guests, creative minds and advocates of sustainable development, it is my honor to join you in this short film challenge. Of course, we all know that the attention span right about now, because the world is moving so fast, is so short. So short films are very crucial. And then our ability to pass on messages through those short films cannot be overemphasized. So our young minds and our young people, I commend the initiatives that you all have been driving towards sustainable development goal. Filmmakers, you are not just entertaining people, but you are also using your platform to drive across messages that will change and bring about transformation and things that will transform our communities and drive progress. So I encourage every participant to continue to use their creative mind to change things, change the narratives, build inclusiveness, and let's have a better and a just society. So I wish you all a successful event and a memorable one. Thank you very much, and God bless.
quick goodwill message, but I believe it will be a heartwarming message, because this will be coming from the representative of the head of civil service of the Federation. May I especially invite Dr. Mukhtar Yawali Mohammed, MFR, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism, and the Creative Economy, to deliver the message. Please put your hands together for him.
It would feel to be free.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols duly observed. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Esther Didi Walson-Jack, brings her goodwill messages to the advisor to the President on SDG, as well as all the organizers of this event. It is really heartwarming to see that the SDG has evolved a new, innovative way to engage our creatives in developing short films that break down the complex and, what I will say, difficult area of the Sustainable Development Goals, and simplify them into short films and plays that will be understandable, that will be more amenable to the general public, and particularly more attracting to the young people themselves. Coming from the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy, we fully align with this initiative. And really, it has shown that even beyond what the ministry is doing, other agencies of government also partake in building the capacity and also encouraging the young people to showcase their talent. In this event today, I know that there are winners, and really we congratulate them for what they have done. But even to the others that have gotten to the stage to showcase what they have done, I believe that they have a lifetime experience where they will continue to showcase their talent and also look forward to bigger pedestals. So on behalf of the head of service of the Federation, I thank the organizers, and I also encourage everyone to continue to support what the government is doing in terms of policy development and creating the enabling environment for creating additional jobs for Nigerians. Thank you very much, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We will be going very quickly into the next panel in a bit. I want to especially appreciate Musa Mohammed. He's sitting at the back. Musa is a truck driver. His favorite part of movies is the trailer. He was the one who told me, say, what do you say to Simba when he's moving too slow? And I said, all you tell Simba is Mufasa or move faster. Distinguished guests, I want to thank Nigerian actors who have helped us to improve on what our movies used to be like. There was a time, a long time ago, I was watching a movie, an angel in a Nigerian movie, she had tribal marks. And I was asking, I said, why is it that every native doctor has to paint one eye? A ghost will have to knock on your door before you enter the house. Somebody just left the graveyard and was going to haunt other people. Dead already. Spirit or bad evil did something. Wanted to cross the road, is looking left, looking right. Doesn't want to die again. But the movies have changed. Can we clap for the movie directors and producers in the house? Thank you very much. Next panel will be moderated by one that we describe as a veteran broadcast journalist and the creative force behind Senema Productions, standing as one of Nigeria's most respected voices in storytelling and media art. With years of experience shaping the narratives from radio to television and digital platforms, she brings an unmistakable blend of authority, warmth, and artistic intuition to every story that she tells. And through her productions, she has become a curator of powerful visual and human interest stories, capturing moments with filmmaking lenses and journalistic truth. Her work reflects depth, discipline, and a mastery of narrative that has cemented the role as a distinguished figure in Nigeria's broadcast content production landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator for this panel is none other than Madam Senami Ohiomohai. Please put your hands together for her. Please put your hands together for her. She calls up her panelists to take us further.
A very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an amazing conversation so far. Being a storyteller myself, I'm excited to be here and I'm happy to be moderating this session. I'm particularly happy because the beginning of my career was in entertainment, cultural reports, and during this time I had the privilege of telling stories with a lot of other story makers. So having that experience, again, I'm excited to be here to share this platform with some of the most amazing panelists this afternoon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our panel discussion is titled Creative Arts and National Transformation, Harnessing Storytelling to Shape Culture, Narratives, Policy, and Development. As you already know, we are gathered because the creative industry is more than entertainment. The creative industry is influence. The creative industry is identity. The creative industry can mold opinion and policy and has a policy power. The creative industry is one that is a strategic tool for national building. Storytelling, as we know, shapes how people think, act, and even determines how they hope. A few weeks back, I enjoyed the movie called The Herd. I don't know how many of us have seen that movie, The Herd. This movie by Etim Bassi reflects just what is happening with our security, where a newly wedded couple with their best friend were kidnapped and led into the forest somewhere in the south of Nigeria. I won't tell you the rest of the story because I think it's something that you should watch. Now, watching this movie, what it did, and as I have conversations with many other people who have seen this story, the truth is that this movie paints the picture that a lot of us are not able to see, but have only been privileged or have only here. So yes, this conversation today is a very important one, and I'm going to go ahead to invite my panelists as we now begin. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Sanusi Abdulateef Olajide, who's representing here Dr. Oreoluwa Fini, SSA to the Governor of Lagos State on SDGs. Please put your hands together for Mr. Olajide as he comes. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Help me make him feel welcome. He came all the way from Lagos to Abuja for this event. Welcome very much. Welcome. It's good to have you, Mr. Olajide. A very warm welcome to you, sir. The next person I would call is Lady Diana Ereyitomi Eyo Enoete. That's a SA to the Governor of Delta State on SDGs. Can you please put your hands together for Lady Diana as she comes forward? The next call needs not that much introduction, and she happens to be my sister friend. We met over 10 years ago, and we were the first dual female presenters ever on Kakakivi African Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me put your hands together for a distinguished broadcast journalist, an advocate for women and children, none other than Adora Onyechere Sydney Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mrs. Sydney Jack. Good to see you, Mrs. Sydney Jack. It has to be a hug. All right, Lady Diana will join us shortly. Let's go straight into the conversation. We have a lot of ground to cover, and the conversation is one that I do exhaust and will be able to hit the nail on the head where this particular conversation is concerned. I will start with this question, and I would like all my panelists to answer this question. Now, in my opening, I did mention the power of storytelling. I want to ask, how can storytelling directly influence, particularly the public consciousness? How can storytelling influence governance in Nigeria? Because again, there's so much that those who are voiceless cannot say, but storytelling can help cover that gap. How can we use storytelling to influence both climate change, climate action, social behavior, and governance? I'll begin with you.
Okay, so thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here. And I think first and foremost, let me quickly say this. One of the first actions of the president when he came on board is to expand the Ministry of Art, Culture, and Tourism. And he included the creative industry. I think he borrowed that idea from Lagos. We are a center of excellence, and you always like to bring development in Lagos to bear on that. So how can storytelling influence governance and that cuts across all the SDGs? First and foremost, I would like to say that the ministry that oversee the creative industry need to first and foremost come up with a reform. Since that they created that ministry, there have not been a coherent reform that every state will tap on. If there is a reform, if there is a framework where idea can be generated and everybody can just feel that, okay, this is the national story and we need to project it. I think that is much more important. And the storytelling, the creative industry now is fragmented. Most filmmakers come up with a concept that suits their own conscience, not the one that actually project the government. On our part in Lagos, we are always deliberate in development. We have the Ministry of Entertainment and Tourism. That ministry always accepts ideas that can transform the society. Just recently, there was a proposal that was sent to our office by a social impact advocate. And that story is a pile of rubbish. Significantly, that particular story, less than an hour, cut across 10 SDG goals. It tells a story that quality education, in a story, it cut across all that SDG. You know what the government does? Government now said, okay, this story should be played, this film should be played across all the public secondary schools in Lagos State. That particular story influenced development. And we are still going further to
storytelling. In your state, you're using storytelling to express what the challenges of the society is like, where a lot of people are lagging. That's presence, where people actually put country first before self.
Thank you, afternoon, and thank you for your kind introduction. And I miss you, girl. And you look good, by the way.
Thank you.
So for me, I'd like to background it a bit because, you know, storytelling is one of humanity's oldest institutions. I mean, it is what led us to where we are today. Formation. It is what led us to where we are today. With storytelling, we're able to illuminate statistics, true stories. Sometimes people don't understand and don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Storytelling, that currently storytelling have moved beyond those layers. And one of the most profound moments for me is at the time where Nigeria is looking at equitable storytelling for young women, especially looking at having women's voices in governance and in politics. And I think the critical one would be, for me, the Reserve Seats for Women's bill. Now, I remember when we started this conversation, looking at women in politics, having the women's movement, nobody really thought about it in form of, you know, a policy direction. They thought about it as a women's right movement.
Yeah.
Now, going from the 8th Assembly to the 9th Assembly, here we are in the 10th. We have been able to see the power of uniformed advocacy through storytelling, not through the eyes of the media alone, but through the eyes of institutions, through the eyes of entertainment, and through the eyes of the narratives that we see on print. And right now, because of the collective, collaborative energy of storytelling, we are able to look at that bill from first reading to second reading and awaiting the third reading. We do know that the continuous engagement and the power of collective storytelling, both in local languages and in English, and even for people without sight, persons with disability, have engaged adversely into shaping narratives that not just speak about the issue themselves, but have put themselves in the positions to be able to experience those issues. And so we are hopeful that when we think about filmmaking, I mean, I listened to the climate literacy conversation earlier from the first panel, the second panel. And what it did say to me was, how have we woven the conversation using climate literacy to be able to break it down to the minutest detail for the young girl in the school, for the woman in the village? And I think that's the power that you bring with storytelling. So advocacy, strategic engagement, empowering minds through not just storytelling on television, but in words and kind, and through active theater, for me, is one of the powerful tools, and is as old as history. But we must do more than taking that story from offline and taking them to the domestic areas like the rural areas, because that's where the power of sustainability begins. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adora. Please pass on the mic. Now, as Adora speaks, it just reminds me, I recall when I was a much younger girl, still a girl, but a much younger one. I remember watching the NTA program called Tales by Moonlight. Now, we all know that for Africans, the culture, the history of the people have been passed down orally by storytelling. Now, that is one huge way that Africans have been able to preserve their culture by telling these stories on to the younger generation. Now, Nigeria's culture and creative economy has massive potentials, but remains underutilized. How, again, can we use this storytelling to change this narrative?
Thank you so much. It's really good to be here, and the organizers, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Benny. I am the co-founder of Sessions.
Okay.
So Sessions is an entity, not really a person. But
Thank you for clearing that up. It was very confusing for me earlier.
I know. But we're happy, and I'm actually glad you asked that question. It feeds right into what we're doing, because storytelling in itself is a big word, in a sense, because there are different parts that move together to tell a story. So there will be the actors or the creators who tell that story, but there are the mediums or the platforms that need that story for more people to access them, watch them, listen to them, whatever the case may be. And so for one of the strongest ways or things that I can say is in the area of allowing more people to have access to your stories. Fundamentally, we all know that stories shape culture. It is the way that, like you say, we've been able to, as Africans, preserve our culture up to this moment. But also, we need the same stories to be able to get to more people. So how do we ensure that more people, let's say the younger person who is not able to have access to something like YouTube or Netflix, readily available, what are the other ways that they can be able to access these stories? What are the other ways that they can be able to join in the conversation and be part of it in an actively engaging way that is not just passive, So one of the things that we're doing with our platform, which is Sessions, is, and I think it's important to say this, it is a video sharing platform similar to YouTube. But Sessions allows both creators and fans to earn together. So why did I say this? In order to create a more immersive experience for the creators of the stories and the story itself, as well as the fans, we thought that unlike before, or in instances where there are certain very integral part of the stakeholders of the stories, which are of course fans, who don't get to have more stronger reasons to be part of stories. How do we ensure that there is an interest that goes beyond just watching and going, but getting actively engaged? So I think that's a pretty much very integral thing to consider. Not just the stories themselves, but platforms that the stories can be conveyed through as well.
Thank you so very much for that. The platforms are very important. And as you speak, what came to my mind are those people in the rural area Adora talked about earlier. So not all of them have access to streaming platforms like YouTube. Not all of them even have a smart device to be able to access these stories. Does that mean we're going to lose them in our drive to use storytelling for a tool for national development? So my next question will be to you: how do we strike a balance between commercial storytelling and socially impactful storytelling? No, not you, but yes. Anthony. Yes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity of this platform. My name is Anthony, and the founder of Trash Disappears. And so to answer your question, first and foremost, storytelling has a way of covering more grounds. It's easier for people to understand visually than when it's in form of write-up. So, and coming from the perspective, the organization which I cover, which has to do with waste management, which is an important aspect of the SDG. There are lots of disconnect with understanding what waste management, proper waste management is.
I totally agree with you. That's a story that needs to be told properly.
Yes, and that's actually an area that we are covering, trying to educate the public. So
I'm sorry to butt in, but I'm going to have to put you on the spot. How are you doing that? How are you telling that story to the public? Because a lot of people now understand that you can turn trash to cash,
wealth, yes.
to wealth, trash to wealth. But not so many people understand how it's done. It means that not enough stories have been told in that sector.
Exactly. So what our organization is doing at the moment is we're having sensitization, community sensitization, going from house to house, to talk about what it is. Also, we ought to have entered for this competition, but unfortunately we got information late because we have a very good story that we have told, So people need to begin to understand that when they see waste, they need to have that mentality that waste can actually be turned into value. And it starts with proper waste management. The whole idea or the whole concept about climate change begins from the community. People need to know that you need to recycle some of this waste. Not all of them totally should be disposed. So it's an aspect that I believe the government, like you asked, how can governance interfere? How can they come in? It's an area that government, the organization overseeing waste in Nigeria has to come in and begin to educate communities, businesses, that you can actually also make money from this waste. Most times people see waste as something you just throw away, but some of these waste are things that you can recycle. For instance, few persons know that you can also recycle paper. Few persons know you can also recycle food waste. The whole idea, most persons think it's just plastics. But when we begin to have some of these stories that educate them that so many of these wastes can actually be recycled, it gives that orientation.
Anthony, that you didn't make it to this short storytelling, event does not mean that that story should not get out there. I'm particularly particular because we need to change the narrative there. So please make sure that story gets on YouTube, stream it everywhere you can. Session, they're sitting right beside you. I mean, make sure that story gets out. It needs to be told. Right. All right. A round of applause for my panelists. I mean, since they started, no applause. A round of applause for my panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, you can do better. Thank you. Thank you. Round this off. This conversation is going to come to you now, Lady Diana. And again, it's back to what we do with, our culture. What intentional strategies should we adopt to preserve indigenous narratives before they are lost? I'm a big advocate for our identity because I see a lot of people, we're losing our identity, we're losing our names, we're dropping our names, we're interpreting them to English. I tell people all the time that, look, the Englishman does not care about your name. Why should you care about his? Why do you want to carry his legacy? Who will carry yours? And so for me, this is a very, very important aspect, identity. And our identity is in our language. Our identity is in who we are, our culture, and we have to have intentional strategies to preserve this. So this question is for you. How do we do that?
Thank you very much. It's interesting that that question came to me.
Right.
So I will start by apologizing that I stepped off the panel discussion. But when you're a panelist and your mother, principal, and queen walks into the room, protocol beats panel. So
I agree.
Let me start by apologizing. But I think that would be the best for my answer because my identity comes from my place. Yeah. And that's my queen sitting down there, the queen consort of the Warri Kingdom. And for me, you have to get up when your queen gets into the room, regardless of who you are. And that is how we preserve. That's how we tell our story. It might look like, I will proudly always speak about my kingdom, good example. But an example is the king and the queen of the Warri Kingdom, who are living example of what identity and what culture and how to carry it in an elegant way, how to modernize culture. Because the problem with identity and culture these days is people want to identify with what is happening, what is beautiful, what should be known, what is classy. But when culture and your identity becomes classy, it's easy to align with it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And you can see that culture and identity is classy. So that's the answer of storytelling. When we begin to carry ourselves, our culture, our identity, when we give it the respect it deserves, when we get up from a panel, we give it the honor it deserves, people begin to put that same honor on what you place honor on. So to tell our stories and to maintain our culture and identity is that we need to respect it first. We need to carry it with the grace that it deserves to be carried with, and then people will align with it. It needs to be palatable. Everybody wants to be a part of it. So every day and every time, whether in Delta State or in the Palace of the Olu of Warri, we are walking the talk. When we say Warri no, they carry last, there is something we are living in your mind. When we walk into the room, the first thing you see or you say or you think when you see someone that is from Warri is that, oh, that person is vibrant, that person will not carry last, that person is smart. There's an information we are living with you, and we carry that poise as we walk with ourselves. And I think that is how we can all do it at our different levels and our different states. Carry the identity and the culture with some level of pride and truth to it, and a bit of humility, of course, on top of all of it, but carry it so beautifully that everybody wants to be a part of the story that you are telling about your culture.
Thank you very much. Our culture generally as Nigerians is so rich. It's loved across the world, and it's sometimes painful that we don't even see the value in who we are and what we have, but we see people wanting to have what we have. As we close the panel, just very, very briefly, one sentence is each as we round off. What possible partnerships can we have between the government and the creative sector? Very briefly, one sentence. All my panelists, please.
I think statement I make, there should be a deliberate action by the federal government to have
one sentence
and the creative industry
can work
align
together.
State, federal, and can align.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Adora?
Okay, mine will be a sentence and a half, just quickly. I believe that storytelling should become the national cornerstone for development, headline stories. More women, examples, stories of powerful women leaders, women doing great things, more in the stories that we tell to champion the next generation of girls. Thank you.
So just platform backing. It could be YouTube, whatever, maybe sessions. But if the government can come in and back distribution to ensure that it reaches absolutely everybody, that would be a great idea.
Thank you very much. An enabling environment.
Can find the good ones will stretch their hands towards you to tell the good stories. So balance out your story. That would be my take. Thank you.
This conversation, we are happy that today's conversation has brought these brilliant minds together who have sat here. And in the intersection of culture, in the intersection of sectors, and of course, policy and national transformation, and of course, advocacy, we've had this I dare to say robust. Short out was the SSA to the governor of Lagos on SDGs. We've also had Lady Diana Ereyitomi Eyo Enoete. I hope I pronounced that right. Who is the essay to the governor of Delta. And he said, I'm looking at you with all the eyes on my face. I need to see that story out. Anthony Obiora, founder of Trash Disappears. And trash disappears to become wealth. That is the story Anthony is telling. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, can I have a round of applause for my panelists? Thank you very much. And it has been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with them. My name is Senami Ohiomokai. Let the conversation and the event continue. But before we get off the stage, I'd like to have, I think we can have a photo up at this point. May I please invite Mr. Desmond Otoe to join us for a photo session very quickly.
the royal presence of the Queen Consort of the Warri Kingdom, Her Royal Majesty Olori Atuwashe III. You're welcome, Your Royal Majesty. Please can we put our hands together for her? Thank you very much. Thank you, we are honored. And the essay to the governor said, Warri no dey carry last. Please, let's celebrate Warri today. Can we clap for them, please? Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with that panel session, we want to quickly move into the formal evening session where we'll be talking about very few speeches, a lot of movie watching, and a lot of shout and celebrations will follow when we get up to celebrate our champions for tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, may I especially welcome the Coordinator, Office of the First Lady, Edo State, Mrs. Edesili Anami. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will need to start formally, and we want to thank all those who have taken the time and the pain to be with us this evening. We are transiting now into the panel sessions. We are moving into the grand gala immediately. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the tone may change, but it's the same program. The idea is to champion and to encourage people to continue to tell stories and ultimately to enthrone a new champion for this year. Please, can I get us to put our hands together for the organizers? Thank you very much for not cooperating. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say what I just said again. The organizers, year after year, give out monies to people to go and tell their story. And that's the single reason I'm asking you to clap for them. Can we celebrate them, please? So very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move into the major business of the day. And our first act for the evening, a very young violinist whose talent shines beyond their years, making them two of Nigeria's most gifted children emerging in the musical landscape. With a natural grace for rhythm and a breathtaking command of the strings, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask us to rise as these two, gifted with childhood blend with precision and seasoned music performance. Please let's rise as we get them to lead us in Nigeria's national anthem. Please put your hands together for David and Diana. For David. Thank you very much. Let's allow them to take a bow. Wow. Please put your hands together for them. I want to assure you they are totally made in Nigeria. Please celebrate them one more time. May I also specially welcome the coordinator and focal person of the SDGs Plateau State, Mrs. Namdam Danjuma Lord. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the representative of the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Right Honorable Far, the representative of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Walston Jack, OON, MNI, was represented here for tourism and creative economy. The Queen Consort of Warri Kingdom, Olori Departments and Agencies, members of the Actors Guild of Nigeria, the Directors Guild, and other stakeholders in the film industry, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, it is an honor to say a special welcome to the grand finale of the SDGs short film, but for a cinematic journey. One where imagination becomes this year theme as a catalyst for sustainable development, reimagining the future we want through the screen. Invites us to step into the director's chair of humanity's next chapter. Just like a powerful movie scene, the SDGs are frames of hope. 17 bold storylines guiding us towards the future free of poverty, inequality, and environmental decline. Our creators, our young storytellers, are the same and helping finally to project possibilities into the world. This evening, we celebrate those who dare to pick up their cameras and to rewrite the script. Those who turn communities into their stories. So tonight we say lights will be on, cameras will roll, and we'll take action on the SDGs. Particularly, I want us once again to appreciate the organizers who have made this possible. Please celebrate them one more time. To begin the evening, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a very special message, a short musical performance from Noel. Please, if Noel is ready, I also want to tell Sophie to get set. But last, I bring on stage for a musical performance to put us on the mood for the evening, Noel Emperor. Please put your hands together for Noel. So while we prep Noel for the song, we'll want to once again invite David and Davina to do us the honors of another performance this evening. Please put your hands together for them as they come up. Can we clap for them, please? Can we clap for them? They're getting set to thrill us this evening. I want to especially appreciate those who came from Warri. Welcome. In time, Rich. And I parked my car. When I was parking, there was nobody there. By the time I came back, I wanted to leave. I saw two men, able-bodied men, and they said, we are the ones who have been watching over your car. I said, seriously, when I parked, there was nobody here. They said, yes, sir. We have been watching over it. Did anything touch your car? Me, I'm also Warri. I'm from the street. The boy just looked at me and said, sir, you get street light. Our own no get street lights. Let's clap for Warri. Our children are getting set to do the first performance after the national anthem. Can we put our hands together for them as they come out, please? Especially also appreciate those who came in from the oil sector. I see some people from NNPC here. Can we clap for them? Let's clap for them, please. Thank you very much representing NNPC. They are our future partners. They are those who will honor us next time. I also see somebody who came in from Kano. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands as I bring on stage Noel Emperor. Please put your hands together for it.
Thank you, MC. Thank you, for this wonderful opportunity. I just want to say that what our society needs is love. And we're going to sing this song together, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Lead your best life, be on top of it. Check your health, check your sex life. Check your sex life. Choose, would you be you, even in your next life? One thing I hate is fakeness, one thing I hate is hatred. Believe that, go ahead and when you're dealing, see, keeping the bitterness is a grave that you're digging. Welcome to this evening, it's my heart that I'm giving. Yeah, welcome to this evening, it's my heart that I'm giving. Yeah, if I give you some love, make you give me the same thing too. The same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Hey, hey. If I show you some love, make you show me the same thing too. Give you understanding, the same thing too. Hey. If I show you some peace, make you show me the same thing too. Show me the same thing. Back. That's not the reason why I write this verse. No man ninja guy. Just want Mary settle down, get a good job. Do your thing, bro, off the rooftop. No go be bad idea to hammer first, but time goes by, and then the bass begin multiply. Pressure piling up from both sides of the divide. This not serious issue, respecting the first issue. Intensify prayers, respecting the village people. Now for dream they come to tell you, you don't know what you're into. Believe, make some cool cash, invest in crypto, for real. Chase your dream down, make you catch on. With that hair, we know they shifting. Me and you, no 1 and 2. To the evening, me and you, 1 and 2. If I give you some love, make you give me the same thing too. The same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Hey, if I show you some love, same thing too. Show me the same thing too. Show me the same thing too. Show me the same thing too. If I give you understanding, make you give me the same thing too. The same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Give me the same thing too. Give me the same thing too. If I show you some peace, make you show me the same. Show me the same thing too.
If I give you some peace, give me some peace too. If I give you understanding, give me the same thing too. Let's go. Thank you. DJ, let's go. Hit it. Yeah. Noel Emperor.
PJ on the beats.
We go march and pass. We go march and them they try. Let's go.
Them go try. I said them they try. Yeah. But still we move from darkness to sunshine. From hardness to soft life. Your mind said the whole time. And I don't mind if you don't mind, yeah. But still we move. From darkness to sunshine.
Like I got my shit from Compton. African child from the toil and the suffering. Just let me into your soul through your speakers. And feel the vibe, feel the energy, let it trigger. An unstoppable force, left with no choice. You can tell it from my voice, the joy I brought for the boys. And keep a record of the things that you take. So someday you gonna definitely pay. Hold on, don't judge me quick. I'm a sinner like you, but you can trust me. You really try just to cross me still. Nobody wants to be on the cross and be stiff.
I said, them go try. I said, yeah. But still we move from darkness to sunshine, from hardness to soft life. Your mind said the whole time, and I don't mind if you don't mind, yeah. But still we move. Mind if you don't.
Let's go. We go march and pass. We go march and
Thank you for the honor. Thank you for the honor. May I also specially welcome Dr. Munirat. I especially welcome and appreciate the presence of the United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed M. Malik Fall. Please put your hands together for him, also known for her diligence, integrity, and exceptional leadership. With a career defined by purpose and service, she currently applause. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you.
Stand on existing